What are relationship red flags you should never ignore? I'm here today with Amy Bark to talk about your new article. What exactly do you mean by a red flag?
Well, unfortunately, it's not like a physical thing, right? It's not like an actual red flag, because that might be helpful for people. But a lot of times it's that feeling in your body that happens, that kind of gut check that's like, is this person right for me? Or is this thing that they're doing okay?
What is the course of action that folks should engage if they notice a red flag in the relationship?
Yeah, we have a no zero or zero tolerance, right? If they make one mistake, I just say cut them off, they're done. No, it's definitely not okay, we have to abort the whole relationship, right?
Yeah.
They're just things that you want to be aware of.
How can counseling help us have perspective?
Learning to recognize what's happening in your body. Learning to listen to those emotions, that gut check that you have. Yeah, there's some practical tools that you learn along the way so you can actually notice the red flags. And then also just the piece of being able to say things out loud and then try to identify, like, what do you want to do with this? Is it a red flag that you walk away from, or is it something that, like, hey, we need to work on this, how do we work forward?
In this episode of the Road to Happiness podcast, I'm going to be joined by NICC therapist Amy Bark from MyCounselor.Online, and we're going to be unpacking her new article on what are relationship red flags you should never ignore. So, relationships can be complicated, and sometimes you can get in some toxic dynamics, and being aware of what that looks like and how to navigate it is an incredibly helpful skill for navigating relationships in a healthy way. So we're going to be looking at, what does codependency look like in myself, in someone else? How do we identify empathy deficits and what that can mean for a relationship when the person you're in a relationship has an empathy deficit? We're going to look at what kinds of conflict is normal in relationship and what kinds of conflict really is a red flag, and how to think about dishonesty or disrespect within relationship, and then really what to do about those things if you find yourself in that kind of relationship. So stick around, check it out. You're going to learn some things that help you mature into true happiness. Let's dive in. The Road to Happiness podcast is made possible by MyCounselor.Online. Hey, we all need some help every now and then. And the counselors at MyCounselor.Online are thrilled to come alongside you and help you navigate all the challenges in relationship or just life, the obstacles that life throws at you that get in the way. So check them out, MyCounselor.Online. They'd be honored to serve you. All right. I'm here today with Amy Bark, one of the amazing therapists here at MyCounselor.Online, to talk about your new article coming out, What Are Relationship Red Flags You Should Never Ignore? Amy, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to distill some of the wisdom from all the hours that you spend with clients into this article to help those who are searching, and then just carving out some time to hang out with me and talk about it. So
yes, this is definitely something that comes up in therapy often, so I'm excited to share some of that.
Yeah, well, let's dive in. What exactly do you mean by a red flag? Like, what is a red flag and why do they matter?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not like a physical thing, right? It's not like an actual red flag, because that might be helpful for people, but a lot of times
get like a pair of AI glasses or something and just have like a little red flag pop up by toxic people. You're gonna be like, oh,
and then denial when it's set in. Yeah, a lot of times it's that feeling in your body that happens, that kind of gut check that's like, is this person right for me, or is this thing that they're doing okay? And even just questioning that of like, that doesn't feel okay in this moment. Yeah, and so sometimes before our mind knows. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom wired into our nervous system.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We tend to sometimes not pay as much attention to it as we should.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the work we do is learning to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I had a client come just to actually see if there was any red flags in a relationship and work through that. And she wanted my perspective so much, and I was really, the training was like, actually, you have this. You actually know, like, I'm not with these people, but you know that something's happening and when it's happening and when it doesn't feel good. And so learning that for yourself.
To learn to listen, and to be able to trust your gut, and makes sense. You list like codependency as a flag, and I'm not sure everybody knows what that means. If maybe you could define codependency for us, and then help us maybe see what it looks like in a relationship. So what is it, and how does it appear? What does it look like in relationship?
Yeah. What codependency looks like in a relationship generally is a lack of identity for themselves. And so what happens is somebody is constantly trying to fill a void in themselves with another person. And so, they feel incomplete without this other person, and then it ends up sucking the life out of this other person. Like, I am now responsible for this person's emotions. That, if I go hang out with my friends tonight, this person's going to feel this way. And so I really should deny myself these things that I am as a person because it could upset this other person. And so what happens is you just start to give so much of yourself, that you're depleted. And this other person, honestly, is never filled because it's not a spot that you're supposed to fill. And so, it's just a really unhealthy balance of needing to be wanted in a relationship, needing that other person so bad.
Yeah, that lack of independence. It really, it's a red flag. Rather, you see yourself in that in the relationship, right? You're like, ooh, that's me. And then, or the person I'm in relationship with, you're like, okay, I see that. And oh boy, what do you do? Like when you see these flags come up, is it just like cut off contact and kind of, I don't know, what is the course of action that folks should engage if they notice a red flag in the relationship?
Yeah, we have a no zero or zero tolerance, right? If they make one mistake, I just say cut them off. They're done. They're like,
we
they didn't want you to go out.
We don't believe in mercy. We don't like. There's no room for growth.
Yeah, Grace has left the building. No, it's definitely not a one in. Okay, we have to abort the whole relationship, right?
Yeah.
They're just things that you want to be aware of. They're things you want to notice and take seriously. Yeah, because they're things that when you're in those beginning stages and everything, it feels great and you love this person so much, and these little things are like, imagine that when the newness is wore off, and that becomes a. And you're trying to stay married, and these things become really big over time.
Yeah, when that low tide kind of sets in, and we, from the newness of the relationship, if we're not paying attention to these things in ourselves and others and being intentional and growing around them, they become real issues. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you want to communicate that, and you want to work through it. And if you can work through it together, then that is a green flag, right? That you can work through things together. Yeah.
Yeah, and grow together.
Yeah, and if someone's not willing to, that's when you want to kind of go like, well, maybe this isn't an area that I'm willing to.
Yeah. You talk about conflict as a red flag. Now, some conflict is like normal in relationships. Like, no relationship has no conflict. In fact, conflict is an important part of growth and such. But how do we know when the conflict that we're having isn't normal, or if it's a red flag for our relationship? How do we discern between what's kind of normal conflict versus red flag?
Yeah, and so again, the conflict is normal. That you are two different people, that there's going to be things you don't agree on. And so, kind of like I stated before, the red flag comes in is when there's just not an ability to work around it. And so that could look like we just say, we're not going to address this, and we don't address it and ignore it and pretend it didn't happen. Because that doesn't work for life, right?
Yeah, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, or if that other person isn't willing to even talk about it, or not willing to change that part of themselves, that's okay. They don't have to, and also you don't have to move forward in the relationship.
Right. They have their choices. You have your choices. It sounds like maybe conflict in of itself isn't as much the red flag as maybe the inability to navigate it, face it, deal with it, actually work through to a resolve. So we're not circling and having the same conflicts over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. What I actually prefer, like premarital counseling, I would prefer that they have lots of conflict prior to getting married, right?
Yeah.
That they've been able to
Conflict avoidance is
overcome.
not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I know I worry about premarital couples that, are like, we never fight. We never have any conflict.
Until you do.
Until you do, and you're not going to know how to. So, yeah, it's not reality that you're going to go through a relationship and never have conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so those are the things. Have some conflict, get it beneath you before getting married. Like figure out how you handle yourselves in conflict. Very important.
Yep. Super helpful. Another red flag you identify is an empathy deficit. Again, can you define that? What's an empathy deficit? And, what does it sound like in a relationship?
Yeah. So this is someone who maybe doesn't care so much about emotions, right? Because it takes so much vulnerability as we do so much marriage counseling around trying to get back to that place where we can share and be vulnerable. Yeah. If the partner's like, I don't have room for emotions, or you're too much, or you're being too emotional, right? Doesn't want to even touch that part of the relationship, then it's going to stay surface level. It'll never have a depth and fullness of a relationship that you could have, where somebody who's able to dig deep and share about themselves vulnerably, that just the quality of the relationship is totally different.
It seems like that capacity really comes from our ability to be able to be connected with our own emotional experience. Right? Like if we can't have connectedness with our own experience, then we can't hold space for and connect with others' emotions also. And so there's kind of a shutdown, kind of a disconnect, and that's a red flag.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you want to live with for life.
Yeah, that gets old, right? That doesn't feel good. Speaking of not feeling good, you talk about disrespect, devaluation, dishonesty, these 3 Ds. What do they warn us about when there's disrespect, devaluation, dishonesty? What are those red flags pointing to?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's taking away our own self-worth, right? Yeah, that even if there's small comments here and there, one, if you can joke and it's okay. Yeah, but if you're not handling it well and there's just all these insults or little cuts, little digs, maybe being disrespected in public in front of other people, yeah, that slowly you start to lose part of yourself and your worth and your identity. Yeah, and the dishonesty, that really shakes the foundation. Yeah, even little lies, if shakes the foundation to the core, that if I can't trust you, yeah, then where do I stand? And that brings up so much insecurity and fear in a relationship that it's a quick way to get things de-escalated or escalated, not de-escalated. Yeah.
Yeah. It really says something about a person's character and their ability to see the value in others and respect and appreciate that value. And if they can't do that, then it really erodes away its safety and, our ability to have a close, intimate connection and bond, because there's no safety. And then you're just coexisting, right? Like that is not really what we hope for out of a relationship, or most people hope for out of a relationship.
Yeah. When there's not trust and when there's hurt, it's just, I even feel it in my body now talking about it, just the pain of that, right?
Yeah, we've seen it, right?
So many times.
Seen, and the early warning indicators of that kind of immaturity could save a whole lot of heartache if, Proverbs says the wise person sees dangers ahead and takes refuge. It's the foolish person that goes blindly on and suffers harm. And so you're putting this out there as a therapist, having seen the harm that people have suffered, and being like, hey, if you're seeing these things in your relationship, they're the reason to have pause, right? Reason to stop and reflect on the relationship. Doesn't mean it's a deal breaker, but it does mean that there's some immaturity here that has got to be addressed and worked through. Otherwise, there can be some real pain in your future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost wish I could make a video compilation of like the stories and like, yeah, like, this is what it looks like now, but this is what it turns into. This is
Yes.
like this is
We
what
can see
happens
down the
with
road a
lifetime.
little bit as to what that materializes into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're a therapist, you're a counselor here at MyCounselor.Online. Help me understand, or the person watching this video understand, how can counseling help us have perspective? Like, what is it that you do with a couple or do with an individual in helping them, evaluate the potential red flags that are in their relationship in a way that helps them? What does that look like in therapy?
Yeah, and so many different ways we can help, right? So part of that, which I spoke of earlier, was like learning to recognize what's happening in your body, right? Learning to listen to those emotions, that gut check that you have. And so, yeah, there's some practical tools that you learn along the way so you can actually notice the red flags. Yeah. And then also just the piece of being able to say things out loud. A lot of times people don't want to share with friends or family these things because, yeah, if they stay with them, they're like, oh, this person's going to always judge them. And so it gives them space to say the things they're not saying to themselves or to friends. Yeah. And then try to identify, like, what do you want to do with this? Yeah. Is it a red flag that you walk away from, or is it something that, like, hey, we need to work on this? How do we work forward?
Yeah, able to spread it out in a neutral space, somebody that's got some wisdom about relationships, but not, I love the first thing that you said in there, that it's not like, oh, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. It's not like, here's the advice. You come and tell me what happened, and I'll tell you what to do. Like, so much, is a part of learning to attune and recognize what our nervous system is telling us and know what to do with, how to interpret that and use that information to help guide us. Because God really has wired in incredible emotion system within our body and is able to lead us into some good decision making. But many of us just have never been taught how to listen to that system and how to use that information to make good choices. And so we kind of make bad choices, or we just kind of feel a little bit lost or really dependent on others to tell us what to do.
Yeah, I don't want to be that person, right? I don't want to be like, I gave him the green light, get married, and then I have hate mail coming in, like, you told me to marry this person. Someone I've never met, which would be a really unfair ask, right? Like, yeah, right? Marry him. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know these things.
Yeah.
But we do know that, God is able to direct, and we know that he's wired into us wisdom. And that if we'll learn to attune to that and not ignore those checks, not ignore those things that the nervous system is alerting us to, then, we've got a real safety system there. Help us see the red flags, help us know what to do about them. Yeah. And that is a gift that we carry with us, our whole life in relationship. It's not just like a give a fish kind of thing. Tell me what to do.
Every guy you date or every girl having to come back to counseling.
Yeah. All right. Here's the scoop. Now tell me what to do.
It's great for me. Come on in. We'll talk about the next girl. But yeah. It becomes a dating site, I feel, at that point.
Right.
So I don't know.
We're not about that. We'd
Yeah.
rather
If you listen to your emotions, right? If you pay attention to them and then feel them naturally, you're able to come up with your own answer. You have clarity about what needs to be done and how to go forward.
Yeah. Well, Amy, thank you so much for carving out the time to hang out today, talk about your new article. It's coming out. Appreciate the work that you do with couples and individuals, helping them identify, navigate the red flags, know how to attune to their nervous system, and use that information in day-to-day living. Like, it's such a gift, and you're just so fun. such a joy to have on this team. So thanks for what you do with clients, and thanks for being a part of the team.
All right. Thank you, Josh.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. It brings Cassie and I a lot of joy to be a part of your story and have these conversations with you just about life and faith and neuroscience. Like, it is such a joy to get to do this with you. It's more fun when we learn together. I got a small ask for you. Would you hit the subscribe button for this podcast? It really helps us, and it's a free way in which you can support what it is that we're doing and help others be able to connect with the same resources that you're enjoying. And if you find yourself in need of a little extra help, check out MyCounselor.Online. They're our sponsors. They make this podcast possible. The Christian counselors at MyCounselor.Online would be thrilled to come alongside you and serve you in your time of need. Hey, and Cassie and I want you to know that we're praying for you and that we're cheering you on as you mature into true happiness.